Hi, it's the M.L.M for the Soul channel, and I do have a new topic for today. Before I begin, I just would like to say, may the words and expressions of my mouth and the thoughts and meditations of my heart find favor and acceptance for you, Hashem. And some people I thank you've inspired me. I hope they can inspire you as well. And I will have links below this video to their sites. They are Rabbi Shalom Arush, Rabbi Lazer Brody, Rabbi Yosef Mizrahi, Rabbi Eli Mansour, Rabbi Alon Anava, Rabbi Yuval Ovadia, Rav Daniel Asore, Nisan Baruch Black, David Sachs, Rabbi Michael Skobach, Jews for Judaism, Rabbi David Asher, and Rabbi Yaron Ruvain. As well, if you've never checked out this channel before, I will have a link right below this video to my first video, which explains what M.L.M for the Soul means, what it stands for, and what I'm doing. So today's topic is again taken from the weekly Parasha Insights from Rabbi Eli Mansour. And this is in relation to Parashat Balak, which is the upcoming Parasha. And I call this one Act in the Opposite Manner. And as I go along, you'll understand why I named it this. It sounds a little odd, but you'll understand it. It'll be self-explanatory as I go through this. So the Haftorah, which is a selection from the prophets, which we read on Shabbat Parashat Balak, is taken from the book of Micha. The prophet urges us to recall Hashem's kindness to us in foiling Balak and Bilam's plan to annihilate Am Yisrael by placing a curse upon them. Then the prophet tells us precisely what Hashem wants from us in exchange for his kindness, meaning Hashem's kindness, his. What is it that Hashem asks from you other than performing justice, loving kindness, and walking humbly with Hashem? And that's from Micha 6:8. So it seems clear from the prophet's words that these three values, performing justice, loving kindness, and walking humbly, are what we are to learn from Bilam's negative example. Bilam represents the antithesis of the proper way to live. And thus, on the Shabbat, when we read the story of Bilam, we read the prophet's admonition to learn from Bilam to act in the opposite manner. So now you understand why that's where I got the title for the topic for today. So the first thing we learn from Bilam is performing justice. So how do we learn this? So Bilam insisted on going to Moab to place a curse on Bnei Israel, even though Hashem made it very clear that he did not want him to. As long as Hashem did not technically forbid him from going, Bilam insisted on going despite knowing full well that this was not Hashem's will. This marks the antithesis of asot mishpat, of doing the right, proper thing. Secondly, Bilam was cruel and malicious, bent on annihilating Bnei Israel for no reason. We are to embody the ideal of ahavat chesed, which is loving and cherishing kindness to others, the precise opposite of Bilam's hostility. So that's the second one. So we had the first one, which is performing justice, the second one, which is loving kindness. So the connection between Bilam and the third idea, which is it's from the pasuk there, it's hatsena, lechet im elokecha. It's a weird word. I've never heard that word. So that means walking humbly with Hashem. However, so this one, for the third ideal about walking humbly, is less clear. So how exactly did Bilam embody the opposite of humility? So that one was not as clear from what he did. So when Balak's officials first came to Bilam and asked him to come place a curse on Bnei Israel, Hashem appeared to Bilam in a dream and asked, "Who are these people who are with you?" And then Bilam responded by explaining to Hashem who these people were, men sent by Balak to ask Bilam to place a curse on Bnei Israel. The Midrash points to this incident as one of several times in Tanakh where Hashem posed a rhetorical question to somebody and the person answered arrogantly, thinking that Hashem was actually asking him for information. Of course, Hashem knows everything, so it's ridiculous. It's just like, where are you? Like when he said that with Adam too, like, well, that's coming up actually. I said that, but it's actually in the next paragraph. So Bilam should have realized that Hashem was expressing his disapproval of what these messengers wanted him to do. Hashem did not need any information. He was telling Bilam that these people are asking him to do something deplorable. This was Bilam's arrogance, and now you know where the third one comes in about walking humbly. So in our times, Hashem does not speak to us directly, but he does communicate with us indirectly. How so? When misfortunes or hardship strikes, this is Hashem's way of asking us as he asked Adam after his sin. Like he said to him, "Where are you?" That's from Bereshit 3:9. He is calling out to us to look and see where we are perhaps falling short in performing our duties, where our conduct is in need of improvement. The arrogant response is to cast the blame on other people, or as many people do, fear that there's something wrong with the mezuzah. That's something wrong with mezuzah. Let's check the tefillin. Meaning they're trying to blame everything else but themselves or somebody else. It's somebody else's fault, but it's not. It has nothing to do with them. So the humble response is to lower one's head in submission, to acknowledge that we are not living the way we should, that there are mitzvot we are neglecting, and that we have midot, which are character traits, that are deficient, and that we need to work to be better. This is the ideal of Hatsena Lechet, that we learn from Bilam's contrary example. We need to learn to lower our heads when Hashem, quote, speaks. Of course, he doesn't literally speak, right? To us, and to live with a humble recognition of what we are doing wrong and of what we need to do to improve. So that's very important, that we be humble and not be arrogant, because that's a big problem, that people just don't think that they've done anything wrong. We've all done something wrong. We've all done probably many things wrong. Of course, myself included, and everybody in the world. There's no perfect person. There just doesn't exist. So we all have to take what happens to us and apply it and say, hey, what am I doing wrong? Or why would this be happening to me? There's got to be a reason for it. And I hope and pray that we all will do that and improve ourselves, and that we will merit to live and see the coming of Mashiach speedily in our days and the rebuilding of our final and everlasting Beit HaMikdash. Amen, and thanks for watching.